Hi, this is Dan Pastorini, and you're listening to The Grilling Truth.
Welcome, everybody, to the NFL's weekly Pick'em show. We're at Week 10, brought to you by Gridiron Mo, an interactive football app where you get to call what you think the offense or defense should do during a live NFL game and see what all others have called also. Check out Gridiron Mo at www.gridironmo.com. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster, and, of course, the person that always gets introduced first is the person that was the biggest loser during the week. And, of course, that was Oz Davis, who was 8-5. How you doing, Oz, you biggest loser?
I was a big loser, but I was the most entertaining.
Okay. That's not what – I mean, I got all kind of tweets last week during the show, like, where'd you get this loser and stuff like that. But if that's what you want to think. Here's one right now. Carolyn from Michigan. Who the hell is Oz Davis, and why is he on the show?
Oh, come on. You're making
the one that said, who names their kid Oz? I think that was the only one I saw.
I mean, yeah. Oz.
Well,
yeah, but it was spelled O-Z.
Lee Harvey.
Because real men spell Oz O-Z. Feminine men spell it O-S. Hey, did you know that there was a transgender person running for office in Utah?
In Utah?
Yeah, in Utah. There was one of them there, people with boobs and a hangy-down thing. I don't know. But, all right, we'll get off of that.
Wait, are you sure you're watching the election, Mike? You're not watching something else?
No, the transgender porn's what you always watch, not me. But, all right, we'll go to the next biggest losers, which would be Matt Andruscavage at 9-4. How you doing, Matt?
I am doing great. I am not the biggest loser, so I'll take it.
All right, and our next biggest loser is Brian Schmidt. How you doing, Schmitty?
What was my record?
9-4.
9-4. I don't feel like a loser.
Hey, we all kicked ass pretty much, except for Oz, because he was 8-5. Yeah. Mark Cooper could not make it tonight because he's watching the election, even though we tried to move it, and then all of a sudden I get a message tonight, well, I can't make it because I got company. But that's all right. Coop was 10-3, makes him the next loser. There was two winners, and one of them was Aaron Zepnick, who was 11-2. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing well. It's the best week I've had. Things are looking up. I just wish it would
and you came
translate
close to being the biggest winner, but the biggest winner was me because I was 11-2, and we've already established host takes tiebreakers. All right, and we're going to start off.
One of my best feats in life.
All right, well, maybe you need to get out more.
My marriage and my kids being born.
Yeah, but it's up there, right?
It's up there.
Okay. All right. You know what? When your kids get in, like, their teenage years, you're going to put this ahead of that. Brian, what did you take away from last week?
Not a whole lot NFL-wise, but from a Steelers standpoint, and we'll be getting more into this on Steelers Weekly tomorrow, Steelers don't make the playoffs, Mike Tomlin should be fired.
Wow.
At this point, undisciplined team. This has been a reoccurring theme over the last 2-3 years. On top of the fact that his record against non-500 teams is not very good, but that was in my lifetime. That game Sunday will go as one of the worst Steeler performances that I've ever seen. I don't know if I'd call it the top of the list, but it's there. And quite honestly, at 4-4. This team does not make the playoffs. He should not be the head coach of the Steelers next week. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow night.
Now, you know, the one thing that really stands out to me is every one of us on here, our favorite teams, we want our head coach fired, which brings me to Matt Andruscavage, who probably is in the worst situation with Chip Kelly, who will be the new coach at Texas next year, by the way, Matt.
Fine by me. Yeah, I would pretty much like everyone removed from the front office and the coaching staff and just start over. So, yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Is that your big takeaway?
No, that was not my biggest takeaway. Okay. I'd probably say Dallas Cowboys just seem to just look stronger and stronger. I think they're just so much more of a threat in the NFC than I would have thought. And they look fantastic. And they're going to be hard to beat.
All right. Aaron.
My biggest takeaway is the Packers are not as good as I thought they were. If you can't get to Andrew Luck with the offensive line of the Colts and you can't create some turnovers at home, you come out, you should be up for a big home game that, is really a must-win, and you give up an opening kickoff for a return for a touchdown. And, it's been in the media here all week since the game Sunday that, they came out flat and they're flat throughout the game. I think it really reflects the leadership and the conservative style. And I would trade you in a heartbeat for Tomlin. I'll tell you that, Schmitty.
Yeah, he continues on with this. You may be able to get that trade.
Yeah, Schmitty just don't want McCarthy in return.
Yeah.
All right. Oz, you're going to go last since you were the biggest loser, so I'm going next.
Okay.
The NFL officiating is atrocious. The Buffalo-Seattle game last night was terrible.
What a joke.
It seems like Seattle usually gets the benefit of these calls. Seattle does, Green Bay does, Pittsburgh does, the teams that bring in the money for the NFL. No offense, Schmitty, but I watch Super Bowl 40. And I think TV ratings are down, I think a lot because, number one, there's not any teams that are really good. You've lost a lot of big-time players like the Ray Lewises and the Peyton Mannings over the years, but also the integrity of the game has to be called in. When you watch a game, and I mean, how many of you guys have seen a game this year where there wasn't one or two calls that went against a team that they could have won the game if it didn't? So, I mean, it's either part-time officials need to become full-time officials or something else is going on there. But
I wish they'd simplify the rules. I mean, I used to know what a catch was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's irritating.
Yeah. Oz, your takeaway?
Well, mine isn't so deep. I wasn't going to get so heavy as that, but my takeaway is the Detroit Lions are going to win the NFC North. This is a team trending up. Green Bay and Minnesota are trending down. Minnesota in particular, I don't see coming back at all. Just way too many key injuries to position players. I mean, who do they have there in Minnesota? Matt Asiata? I mean, that's what Bradford is looking for out of his offense. I mean,
well, with their offensive line the way it is right now, Oz, it doesn't really matter who their weapons are.
I don't know. Losing 3 out of 5 of your starters at the beginning of the season, that's not going to work.
Well, I think their one saving grace, which gives them a chance still in that division, is number one, Detroit and Green Bay aren't complete football teams. But on top of that, I think they've got the best coach in the division with Mike Zimmer. And they've got a hell of a defense.
So you're not buying into Jim Bob?
Jim Bob Cooter? I just love that
I like
name.
Jim Bob Cooter.
I love that
name. It's a great name, and he seems to be a great coach, at least on the offense. Can't tell about the defense, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm not completely sold on Jim Caldwell.
Yeah, I can buy that.
All right, let's get to picking the games. The first game, I know y'all are clamoring to fight over who gets to pick it first. So, Matt, since you're a 49er fan, I just feel sorry for you anymore, which is why I don't really pick on your team. Cleveland at Baltimore.
Cleveland at Baltimore. Well, it's really hard to take Cleveland just because they keep finding ways to lose. In Baltimore, John Harbaugh, I think the AFC North isn't anything real special at this point, and it's up for grabs. I think Baltimore takes that step and takes control of the division by beating Cleveland.
I don't think they take control of the division by beating Cleveland.
No, for a week. For a week.
All right, Oz?
By the numbers, Baltimore takes care of the division, but yeah, I don't. I think it's Pittsburgh's to win or lose, right? We're talking about firing their coach. In any case, on this game, I can't think of any reason to go for the Browns. I got to go Ravens.
All right, Aaron?
Baltimore at home, good coach, good running game. I think Cleveland's run defense is atrocious. We saw that on Sunday again. They just can't stop anybody.
All right, Schmitty?
Baltimore at home. I think they're going to be playing, obviously, with some great confidence, and Cleveland is just hard to watch. So I don't think Baltimore's going to have, a lot of problem winning this game.
All right, I'm going to go with Baltimore, too, just because Cleveland sucks. Next game. Interesting game. Matt, the Kansas City Chiefs at the Carolina Panthers.
This is an interesting game. The problem, I think, in this game is going to be Kansas City is the quarterback situation. And the running back situation is rough. And Spencer Ware's out. Alex Schmidt is banged up, but I think he's coming back this week. I don't think I really like Kansas City on the road. Carolina, I think they've won 2 games in a row. They're not doing anything really special, but they have won a couple of games. I think I like them at home. I don't know how high scoring of a game this is going to be, but I think Carolina will win it.
All right, Oz.
Okay, so you're going with Carolina, Matt?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't like but I guess I am.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Now that sounds like he's just going opposite of you because he knows that you're usually wrong.
No,
I'm usually wrong though, and you know that, Mike.
You're tied at second with Brian, 5 games behind me. Aaron's 7 games behind me, but Oz is 73 games behind because he just started the show last.
I'm playing.
Well, and also taking into account last year, I'm not always wrong.
Okay, we'll see. You're gonna get beat by double digits this year, Matt. But all right,
okay,
Brian.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with going with Carolina. I think Kansas City, a little banged up, and I just, again, they're just not a team that excites me. So I think I've got to go with Carolina, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was wrong on this one. So.
All right, I'm going to go with Kansas City. Kansas City plays well on the road. Defense travels. The running game may not be as good, but, I mean, come on. Who'd Carolina beat the last 2 weeks? Kansas City beat Oakland at Oakland a few weeks ago. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Aaron?
I'll go with the Chiefs as well, and I brought this up on our fantasy show. If you were to tell me there's a team in the NFL right now that won 17 of their last 20, I would think it was like New England or Dallas being hot to start the year. Kansas City Chiefs have won 17 out of 20 games. Andy Reid's a hell of a coach. He finds ways to win. Their defense is one of the best in the league, I think, and they get after the quarterback with Tamba Hali and some of these other guys that rush the passer there, and Derek Johnson's one of the best linebackers in the league.
And so, he's also one of the worst clock managers in the league, Andy Reid is.
Yeah, Jeff Fisher's your coach. All right, Brian,
yeah.
Let's see. Brian, Denver at New Orleans. So he knows that.
Oh, my God.
Aaron. Nobody knows bad clock management like Jeff Fisher.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute. What game am I picking now? Oh, my
Denver
goodness.
at New Orleans.
Oh, thank you. New Orleans at home. Got to go with New Orleans. I'm, again, not real excited about Denver either right now. New Orleans at home always plays different than they do on the road.
Yeah, and I'm going to make this now. I don't think Denver will make the playoffs. I think they got quarterback issues. I don't think the defense is quite as good as last year. New Orleans beat Seattle, which is a team built a lot like Denver defensively. Only Seattle has Russell Wilson, and the Saints still beat them. I'm going to go with the Saints. Aaron?
I'm also going with the Saints. Drew Brees at home. I think they'll outscore Denver. And I'll take it one further. I think if Trevor Siemian has a bad game, you may see Paxton Lynch turn to.
All right, Oz?
Oh, gee. I'll go with the Saints. I like the Saints at home. I don't like the fact that the Broncos have no running game. I talked about this on the fantasy show. The fact that they have no good running backs is affecting their passing game as well. And Trevor Siemian is not a guy who can handle that sort of change. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints at home. Sure.
All right. Matt?
Yeah, I think the Saints at home, like you said about Seattle. I mean, that's very true. I think Seattle's a better team, very similar, and they were able to win there. win against Seattle at home. I don't think Denver can put up points, and I didn't see it. I think that the Saints are poised to win this game, so I'll go with New Orleans.
All right, the next game, Rams at the Jets. I'll take that. I haven't went first yet. Rams defensively are good. They showed that against Carolina. Offensively, they're not. Kind of the same problem there. The Jets have a good defensive front. Their DBs aren't great, but it doesn't matter because I don't think Case Keenum's going to have much time to throw it to them. I'm going with the Jets. I think they're a more talented team than the Rams. Oz?
Wow, really?
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
The Rams,
well, you know what? That would be fine, but when some jerk comes on here on a show that I host and goes 8-5 his first week, comes in last and is the biggest loser and tells me I'm wrong, I just don't buy it.
But you like me, Mike. That's the difference.
Yeah.
In any case, I don't care if the Rams have no offense. Look, the Jets are the leader in the NFL in turnovers. You know, LaMarcus Joyner.
Because they haven't played the Rams.
Oh, I see. So they're going to get negative turnovers this game, and then they'll be back in, a respectable position. They throw a lot of interceptions. They fumble a lot. And the Rams can take advantage of that. Look, we've got our secondary back. LaMarcus Joyner and Tremaine Johnson, they took 4 or 5 games to get it going, but they got it going now. And now, Tremaine is back from his injury, so they're both playing back there. They don't need to score a lot of points. They need to score about 14 points, and they can win this game. They're going to win this game, Rams.
Yeah, you're wrong. Aaron.
Look, I think Carolina's offense is a little bit better than the Jets right now, just because I think Cam Newton's a dual threat at quarterback. Fitzpatrick is not. The Rams just I can't get excited about this team. I thought they'd win last week. I actually picked them to beat Carolina at home, and I'm going with who am I picking again? The Jets.
Not the Rams. Not the Rams.
Aaron, have you been drinking some of that Wisconsin ale up there tonight?
No, I'm watching my son play Grand Theft Auto, actually.
There's a lot of bad words in that game. I wouldn't suggest it.
Yeah, I know.
It scars their mind. Speaking of scarred minds, Brian, Rams at Jets.
Both blondes on the Big Bang Theory are pretty hot. That's pretty much the reason I bring that up. The reason I bring that up is that's way more interesting than this game is going to be, but I'll pick the Jets.
All righty. Who'd you pick, the Jets? All right. Matt, do you agree with him about the Big Bang Theory?
I would agree with him about that. It's much more exciting than this game.
I've never seen the Big Bang Theory. I think the show's stupid.
It is, but they're hot.
It definitely got old. But as far as this game goes, I think the Jets have more weapons on offense that can. I think Forte and Bilal Powell can do enough on the ground, and Brandon Marshall in the air. It ain't going to be a great game, but I think the Jets will win this game.
All right, Aaron Zepnick, the Green Bay Packers at the Tennessee Titans.
I'm picking Tennessee until the Packers show me to have a little more faith. I just don't think that everything's right in that locker room right now. You got the quarterback calling out the coach and other players and stuff. I would not be surprised if Tennessee, beats the Packers at Tennessee.
Yeah, but doesn't the quarterback in this case have a pretty good point calling out the coach?
Oh, he does, and one of them will probably be gone after this year if they don't make the playoffs, and it's not going to be the quarterback.
No, it's not, because you can't replace that quarterback.
Right.
Let's see, Brian, Green Bay at Tennessee.
I've got to agree. I got to go with Tennessee. Everything going on in Green Bay right now. I mean, that is a ship that is starting to sink pretty quick, and I just think Tennessee at home, they've got a great opportunity right here. So I'm going to go with Tennessee.
Brian, during your pick, I was thinking, damn it, I got to edit the show now. But you said ship. All right, Matt.
Yeah, Tennessee's got a good offense at home. They lost a tough game last week against the Chargers. I think they're going to be poised to win this game. I just think there's too many problems in Green Bay right now, like Aaron was saying. They just got too many problems at running back, wide receiver, corner. The front seven isn't getting any pressure. There's just too many things wrong. I think Tennessee definitely can win this game.
All right, the Wizard of Oz.
So this is a lose-lose situation for me. So if I go with the Titans, I'll get it right, but I'll go with all of you guys. And if I go with the
I haven't
Packers,
picked the game yet, so you don't know.
Well, you're not picking the Packers, so I know what you're going with. So, but I have to go with the Titans. The key stat that I saw was in the past 3 games, I think Rodgers has thrown 45 passes a game. That's way too much. You can't have a game plan that features.
But I have no
he
running.
Has scored all of their touchdowns, either passing or running. They've got nothing out of the running back. 22 touchdowns. He's responsible for all of them. If Rodgers doesn't have a good game, they don't win.
Right.
Even when he does have a good game, they don't win.
They don't win. Yeah.
And they're 4-4, and they could easily be 2-6.
I guess I got to pick this game now. And I'm leaning towards Green Bay, Oz.
Really? You're nuts.
Well, I think Tennessee's a year or so away, and every time I think they're about there, they do what they did last week. Even though I didn't pick them last week, they still do something like that. They lost to the Colts at home.
Okay.
So
did Green Bay.
Huh?
So did Green Bay.
I know, so they're very similar. So I'm going to go with Green Bay.
Wow.
I think Rodgers will
we all
play
get
out
to
of his
pick up the
mind.
game.
I think they'll win the game, and then they'll lose their next 3. But I think they'll win the game. I think Tennessee's one of those teams that they're a year or so away. And, you never know what you're going to get with Tennessee. I know with Rodgers, I'll get at least 3 touchdown passes. Let's just hope he doesn't throw in 3 picks with it. Next up, I think this is one of the games of the week. Matt, the Atlanta Falcons at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, definitely one of the best games of the week.
The rematch of the 1978 wild card game.
True. And the 2004 NFC Championship game.
Yeah, but nobody cares about anything that happened after 1990. So.
I knew you wouldn't like that.
Yeah, 1978, that was a great playoff game, won by a field goal. Who kicked that field goal, Oz?
That was a good regular season game in 1980.
Who kicked a field goal to win the 1978 divisional playoff between the Eagles and the Falcons?
Wow. No clue.
I know Matt knows it. Matt?
No clue.
Matt?
Not sure I remember the Eagles kicker.
It's not the Eagles kicker because the Falcons won the game because then the next week they lost to the Cowboys 27-20.
That's right. You're right. Crap.
Come on.
I don't remember who the Falcons kicker is.
You don't remember who the Falcons kicker was?
Schmidt,
who was the Falcons kicker in 1978 that won the playoff game over the Eagles?
The Falcons kicker?
Yeah, the Falcons kicker. Who was it?
They have a kicker.
The Falcons kicker.
Wasn't Morton Anderson.
The Falcons kicker was Tim Mazzetti, who was actually a bartender before he signed with the Falcons after a regular tryout.
Nice.
How could you not know that?
I don't remember that.
I didn't ask Aaron because Aaron's not good before 1990 because he's a young one.
I usually know this stuff, too. I'm embarrassed.
Matt, are you going to pick this game or what?
Damn.
Who's picking this game?
Matt, Falcons at Eagles.
Oh, all right. I'm going to go with Atlanta. I think their offense is playing really well right now. I think the defense will do just enough. I'll go with Atlanta.
All righty. Oz?
Let's see. You're going with Atlanta, Matt?
Yep, you need to take Philly now.
See, the only person I have to bounce off of you is Matt. So I'm sorry, Matt. I'm sorry.
Well, it just sounds like you have no respect for Matt's prognostication skills.
No, it's not that. It's totally random.
No, this actually makes me feel pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like a security blanket for Matt's pick. The Eagles still have a pretty good defense, I think. And I'll tell you what, the only reasonably difficult defense they've faced are Denver and Seattle, and the Falcons were held to 23-24 against those.
Yeah, but they should have won both games if it wasn't for officiating, and they did win one.
That's correct.
Yeah, they were 1-1. Yeah,
and the question is this: do you believe that the Eagles' defense is anywhere near Denver and Seattle's?
Statistically, they're number one in the league.
Yeah, I don't care about that. So they've given up less points than anybody else?
Okay. By the
I think I made the right decision.
Yeah, Oz already sounds confused.
By the eye test and damn.
The eye test.
Just empirically speaking, I don't know if they're as good as Denver. They're probably.
Oh my dear Lord! What does empirically mean?
I don't know, Schmidt. If you're by a computer, Google it and see.
Derived.
I can't hold your hand through everything.
Holy Lord, have mercy!
I'm not real sure what it means either. Huh?
No kidding.
Why you guys?
Did Aaron just get jealous because he thought me and Schmidt were holding hands?
Yeah, I'm jealous.
You know you are. That's all right.
You could call it that.
It's all right.
Wow. It's a new record. It's a new record for going off the rails.
Hey, and I have a right to love whoever I want, Aaron. Leave it alone.
That is what the law says.
Now you can just run for Senate in Utah.
That would be pretty funny. Well, don't forget, Mike, we were told we were presidential.
Yes, I was told by Fred Dreyer that I could be president.
Well,
president
if Oz would have voted for you, the coward.
Huh?
I said if Oz would have voted for you, the coward.
I know, but I'm going to run on the Libertarian ticket in 4 years anyways.
All right.
I'm not kidding.
Then
you can laugh all you want, but
then I might vote for you.
So, who's picking what game here? Oh, Atlanta, Philadelphia. Is that Oz? So you're going to pick?
I'm picking.
We're having a hard time
Falcons
getting through this one.
Eagles, and I'd like to get through this. I'd like to say that the sort of competition that the Falcons have faced is Tampa Bay twice, Oakland, New Orleans, Carolina, and Green Bay. Hardly elite defenses, and I do believe
Denver.
They beat them, but in a very low-scoring game. I think that the Eagles can outscore them. I think they can hold them down. I'm going to go with the Eagles this game. Why not?
All right, Brian, after that long dissertation, who you pick?
Yeah, after that tangent.
I know. You need to chill that out. The show will last forever. You keep doing that.
I think I don't feel like the Eagles right now are I think they're starting to come back down a little bit. And I like this Atlanta team. I'm just, as the offensive guy that I am, I like what they do offensively. I think their defense is playing better. And the one thing we've talked about on this show before is they're a tougher football team. So I really feel like Atlanta's going to win this.
All right. Now, did you say you were an offense guy or an offensive guy?
Offensive guy.
Offensive guy. Okay. I got it. All right. I'm going to agree with you because I look at Philadelphia the same way I look at Tennessee. I think they're about a year away from being really good. And there's been times where I thought they were really good right now, but it just seems like they're up and down like a young team is. So I'm going to go with Atlanta also. So Oz will be wrong again and drop even farther behind. Be like 90 games back by the time this is over. Aaron.
I'm going with Atlanta. Atlanta's more.
Is that just because Oz went with Philly?
No, Atlanta's a more consistent team. I don't think Philadelphia has been consistent. I think Carson Wentz has been up and down. Their defense is pretty strong. I do agree with Oz in that aspect. I just don't think that the NFC East, other than Dallas, is as good as what Atlanta's been playing.
All right, I'm going to throw a wrench in Oz here. Oz, you're going first. Minnesota at Washington. The rematch in the 1973 and 76 NFC divisional playoff games.
Yes, I used to have football cards.
Who kicked the field goal to open the game?
Nobody kicked a field. You can't kick a field goal to open the game. Unless you're that 1976 Disney movie, Gus, with Don Knotts and DeMule. Anybody ever see Gus, the field goal kicking mule?
I did.
Yes.
Boy.
Yes. I remember that. He was German or something, right?
Was Ed Asner in that too? Oh. I think it was Ed Asner and Don Knotts. You have to go get that, Schmidt. It's a good movie.
I don't think it's Don Knotts, but in any case.
It is Don Knotts.
It is Don Knotts. See, Aaron knows. So are you going to pick Minnesota-Washington, or are you going to pass?
Well, you gave me this game, and this is the game I care about the least. These are a couple of mediocre teams, so I already made my mind up. I'm going to go with Washington based on home field advantage.
All right. Aaron?
I agree with Oz. I'm going to go with Washington. I think their offense is pretty good. Kirk Cousins has been playing pretty well. Their defense is underrated, too. I'm going to go
No, their defense is pretty crappy.
Mm-hmm.
At least the time I saw them against the Bengals, their defense wasn't very good.
They'll outscore Minnesota.
Well, and that's the whole key to winning. Brian?
I think Minnesota's so injury-riddled right now. I think Washington will win this game. And it's a real shame because I think Minnesota, I really think could be a better team. But I mean, when you're just hounded with injuries, it's just hard to win in the NFL, and I think we're starting to see that. So I'm going to go with Washington, even though I'm not a big Washington fan.
Yeah, I'm going with Washington also. Matt?
Yeah, it's really hard. Part of me wants to take Minnesota just because of the coaching, but I don't know. I think North Turner leaving the offensive coordinator position for Minnesota was big.
Well,
they
he'd love
already
that takeover to Los Angeles Rams here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I just don't think Minnesota can score. It is just nothing that tells me they can score. Washington, they've got a pretty complete offense as long as
they're real good offensively, especially since Vernon Davis decided to not be old anymore.
Right. I mean, they got Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis. You got Jamison Crowder, Deshaun Jackson. I mean, they got a lot of weapons, and if they can keep Kirk Cousins upright, I think they can score enough points to win this. I'll go Washington.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is like the opposite of a prostitute. All right.
What? How's
He's
that?
the opposite of a prostitute. You want to keep him upright. You want to put a prostitute on their back.
I see. Okay.
All right.
I've learned something new from this show every week.
Yeah, that was quite a leap there in logic.
Not really.
It's just like,
so you
what?
disagree with that logic? You'd better do it the other way around?
No, I thought
So Oz, when you get a prostitute, you want to keep her upright.
But I don't have to pay for it, boy.
He just wants to make sure she doesn't wake up. All right, Houston at Jacksonville.
My
Aaron.
God.
Houston, Jacksonville. I was on their bandwagon earlier in the season, thanks to Oz. I got wise to the ways, and Houston. The one thing I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville wins this game, but the one thing is Houston's just Lamar Miller is running pretty well. The thing that concerns me though is Osweiler has not been playing very consistent at all, and can't get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. It does make me nervous about picking Houston, but I think they're the best team in the division overall.
All right. So Oz knows because he's a liberal from California. Donald Trump's up to 254 now. All right, Matt.
Oh, my God.
Jacksonville.
Ugly game. I don't like either of these teams very much, but Houston's coming off the bye. Like Aaron said, I think Lamar Miller is going to be able to get a lot of yards, both running and receiving in this game. I also agree Brock Osweiler is not very good, so I think Jacksonville could keep it a game, but I think at home, coming off the bye, I think Houston will squeak out a win. Ugly game, though.
All right, Brian.
Popping a pimple on your butt is going to be more interesting in this game. So with that,
These amazing analogies just continue.
So with that,
prostitutes.
Prostitutes and Pimples. That's what we'll call this show.
That's
the weekly Prostitute and Pimple Show. Oz stands him up. Schmidt pops him.
Nope, he does not. I'm going to go with Houston, but this is a hard game to pick because, A, they're both horrible, and B, it's really don't care. So I'm going to go with Houston, but I won't be surprised if Jacksonville wins.
All right. Oz?
I'd rather watch this than the Washington game, that's for sure. I'm popping the pimple, man. I'm going with the Jaguars. You know why? Here's why. Because I'm just going to keep picking the Jaguars, and the week that they do win, I'm going to look like a genius for doing so.
I don't think you'll ever look like a genius.
Well, okay, that's true.
And not if you pick it wrong like 9 weeks in a row and then they win a game.
Well, yeah, but for the person that's listening to this podcast for the first time.
Just so you know, most people that go 1-9 get fired.
All right. I'm going to go with Oz. I think Jacksonville wins the game.
All right.
I don't think Osweiler can do much. He hadn't shown me much. I think they're at home, Bortles with some really good receivers. I think they win the game. I don't know why. I just do. All right. Chicago at Tampa Bay, which would be a much better game if the Buccaneers wore the helmets with the gay pirate on it that were orange from the 70s and 80s. But
I
Chicago
love
at
those
Tampa
uniforms.
Bay, Brian. Huh?
I love those uniforms.
I do, too. The
Those are
green
great.
sickle uniforms, I wasn't kidding.
Yeah.
I liked them. They had the gay
yeah.
pirate with something sticking out of his mouth. I'm still not sure what that is. Brian, Chicago at Tampa Bay.
Got to go with Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay at home, and Chicago just never excites me to really watch play. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay.
All right. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay also, but I think Chicago could surprise them. They got Jay Cutler back. Aaron?
I'm picking Chicago. They just beat Minnesota and then had a bye, get a couple weeks to rest and get healthy. They got some good weapons. Jordan Howard's been playing really well. Alshon Jeffrey and Cameron Meredith playing pretty good at receiver as well. Their defense is suspect, but Tampa Bay's offense, let's face it, they have not been very good this year either. I'm picking Chicago. Pick up another game on you, Mike.
Yeah. Well, the fact that Tampa Bay, so you're telling me Chicago's offense has been better than Tampa Bay's?
No, but Jay Cutler being back, I think, gives them a spark. And for the first time ever against Minnesota, I saw Jay Cutler show some emotion and some passion. And I think when he was like that in Denver, he actually played better.
In Denver? Well, he never made the playoffs in Denver. I don't think they were ever above 500 in Denver with him. He made the playoffs in Chicago.
When he had Brandon Marshall and they were putting up a lot of numbers, he was fired up and energetic. And then when he went to Chicago, it looked like he was disengaged and bored. So
okay, maybe just
I've never seen him fired up.
He was fired up against Minnesota.
All right, well, whatever. Whether he was fired up or not, nobody cares. Oz.
He was on an episode of The League, if you remember that show.
Yes, I do.
He was lifelike on that show.
What happened to that show? I keep looking for it. It ain't out.
Nah, they canceled it.
That's a bunch of crap.
It went 7 seasons. They got Larry David. They ended the show. But
I want to know what happened to Taco.
No kidding. No, he just disappeared.
Taco reminds me of Oz.
Ah, thank you.
Kind of detached and high all the time.
Yeah, and I got 9 kickers on my fantasy team. That's why I lose.
You probably do, from what Aaron and Matt have told me, but go ahead.
What have you guys told him? In any case,
They've told me everything.
In any case, I think this is going to be a better game than you guys think. I think this could be interesting.
Well, I said that it wouldn't surprise me if Chicago beat them, but I was picking Tampa Bay, and I think Brian said the same thing.
No, I think this is going to be a good game to watch. I think the Bears are going to win. Yeah, sure. I think Jay Cutler is going to have his way. The Buccaneers secondary is lame. I mean, I was looking at the stats today. These guys have 4 interceptions for the year. Come on now. I think a veteran quarterback like Cutler, he's going to torch these guys. Well, torch in his
my
limited
pick?
way. They'll get 21 points, but I'm going with the Bears.
All righty. Matt.
My pick?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tampa. I think Tampa wins the game, but like you guys were saying, I wouldn't be shocked if Chicago won. I think Chicago makes it a game, but Tampa being at home, I think they got some pretty good weapons against a pretty bad Bears defense. I'll go with Tampa.
All right. I'll lead the next one off. Miami at San Diego. Miami's played better. They've got a running back. San Diego's got Phillip Rivers. I think they're playing in what's probably the best division in football right now in the AFC West. Not a bad team there. I mean, come on, San Diego's in last in that division.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like the old AFC North, Brian. You could have 3 teams from that division make the playoffs this year.
Very easily.
Actually, it looks more likely than not.
Yeah. Who else are you going to have? It's not going to be the Bills. It's not going to be the Ravens. Who do you have?
Well, Bengals maybe.
Okay.
Nah, the Bengals will win the AFC North, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm taking San Diego. Matt?
Miami, San Diego. Yeah, I'm going to go San Diego.
Hold on a second, Matt. Hold on. There's a Los Angeles Rams fan laughing because I said my team might make the playoffs. My team's been in the playoffs 5 straight years. When's the last time your team went to the playoffs?
We're not talking about the last 5 years.
When's the last time your team went to the playoffs? If you're going to laugh at somebody saying their team's going to the playoffs, the last time the Los Angeles Rams were in the playoff was what year?
But this is this year, Mike. You used a similar argument on
this year,
the CFL
the Los
show.
Angeles Rams have no chance to go to the playoffs.
Good Lord,
and they're in a terrible division this year outside of Seattle.
The Bengals have no chance of going to the playoffs.
They don't? The Bengals are a half game out of first place.
They're not going to make the playoffs.
I'll bet you $500 right now they do.
$500? Come on. What do you think? I have that in my sock?
That's what I thought. Okay, are you going to be a little bitch and not pick this game like you would not take that bet?
Wasn't my turn. What's the game?
Miami at San Diego. How do you know it wasn't your turn? Did I call on somebody else?
Yes.
Who?
Yeah, you called on me.
Oh, I'll come back to you later. Oz, pick the game.
Nailed. In any case, guess what? Miami's going to win this game. Look, the truth is the Chargers are 20th against the run. The Dolphins have become run-happy like they should. I don't believe they're going to force the pass. I think Miami is going to win this game. I think home field advantage means nothing, et cetera, Miami.
Now, do you know how Oz is going to be wrong when he picks a game?
When he says
after he starts to pick the game, he'll say, "We'll look."
Ooh, so that's
every
like
time.
So
every time, we'll look. Okay. Because he's trying to defend his dumbass picks. Aaron, Miami at San Diego.
San Diego, better quarterback, better complete team. Miami does have a run game, but I don't
so does San Diego. They got Melvin Gordon.
Exactly.
Thank you. Well, look, Brian, it's your turn to pick the game.
San Diego.
All right. Seems that everybody thinks he's a moron. Matt, sorry you ended up going last. I thought you were going to go second.
That's all right. I think I'm sticking with it. I think San Diego wins the game. More offense, better quarterback. I like Melvin Gordon a lot. He's playing real well. I think Ajayi is good. I think San Diego will do enough to slow him down, and I think San Diego gets back on track here.
All right, the game of the week. Matt, the San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, my God. Beat down of the week. Arizona's going to kill them. It's going to be ugly. Niners put 2 more defensive players on IR, and I mean they just got it is the second half of the 4th preseason game. There's just nothing out there but backups. It's ugly. They probably won't win another game this year. So I think Arizona wins this by 30.
All right, Brian.
I got to go with Arizona. Can't ever really go with San Francisco. So
I'm going with Arizona too. Aaron?
Arizona.
All right, Oz, here's your chance to be a contrarian.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, let's see about
Well,
those
look.
49ers. Wait, what's my line? Now look.
Well, look.
Now look. Here's the deal with the 40. Nah, I can't do it. Cardinals.
All right. That was not exciting. All right, here's a game that is very interesting and near and dear to my heart because my Bengals will be in first place or a half game behind and in second after this week. Dallas at Pittsburgh, Brian.
Honestly, as badly as I want to pick Pittsburgh, I can't do it. I'm going with Dallas.
All right, Matt.
Wow.
Yeah, Dallas. Does Brian healthy?
You know what? The way that Oz said, wow, you would think Schmidt flashed him while he picked the game.
More or less, man.
Pretty
if there's
much.
one person I don't want flashing me, it's Schmidt.
Why that? You don't like white people?
That's a frightening prospect, boys. That's, yeah. No,
because he's a guy?
Look, I've seen the man's pictures on Facebook. Okay.
Are you calling Schmidt ugly to almost his face over the phone?
He almost his face. Let's just say he's scarier looking than any of you.
Okay, well, Brian, if you've ever seen a picture of Oz, yeah, goes both ways.
Wow, man, I don't know.
Oz is one of them pretty boys that has hair and stuff, Brian.
Wow.
I can't believe you went there on Schmitty, Oz. You're kind of an asshole.
Yeah,
all right.
I like the wows, I guess.
Who's picking this game, by the way?
Who?
Matt.
For me?
Did I interrupt you again?
I don't remember. I'll go with Dallas. I'll just wait my turn.
Oz?
Pittsburgh, of course. The reason why I said wow is because I thought somebody was going to back me up on this. But look, here we go. See, there it is again. But look, okay. Ben Roethlisberger. Okay, check this out. This stat was like super heavy when I read this. Ben Roethlisberger is 2-6 in games when he's returning from an injury.
I believe I brought that up last week when I picked Baltimore.
Right, which he did last week. Okay? In the second game after an injury, he's, guess what, 6-2. Okay? I'm going to take Roethlisberger. Look, I know the Cowboys are a much better team, but I also don't believe that the Cowboys are on a 14-2 or 13-3 pace. They're going to lose a couple of games before the end of the season. This is one of them. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
All right, Aaron?
Oz, you got to share some of that stuff, man. Dallas.
Sure. Come out to Dallas.
Joe Ajayi ran for 200 yards against Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. Sure. What do you think Ezekiel Elliott's going to do to them? Sure. Pittsburgh will probably be lucky to have 25 minutes of time of possession.
Wow.
I don't believe that. I think this will be a close game that goes down to the wire. I'm just leaning towards Dallas because they have the one sure thing, which is their offensive line.
Yeah.
If Miami and Joe Ajayi can run for 200-plus, what do you think Dallas's offense is going to do?
Yeah, but I also think
Brian,
this.
Cole Beasley, Terrence Williams.
That's not a good comparison, though. That's just one game. Do you really think Miami's better than Pittsburgh?
No, I don't. But if their run defense is that poor, which they have been all year, I don't see Pittsburgh stopping Dallas's offense.
I don't see them stopping them either. But what I'm saying is this: it would not surprise me if Pittsburgh put 30 points on them. You still got Antonio Brown, you got Le'Veon Bell, you got Big Ben. I mean, I hate to defend the game that I've already picked the other way, but I think this game's a complete toss-up.
My problem with Pittsburgh right now is not what they can do offensively and even defensively. Getting Shazier back, a lot of that helps, but the problem right now is this is a team that makes too many unforced errors. This is a team that mentally seems to check out of games at times, and that comes squarely to coaching. So right now, until the coaching gets better, this is a football team that's at a very big crossroads, and winning or losing this game doesn't really affect crossroads. But over the next 3 or 4 weeks, this is a team that we're either talking about as a playoff team or we're talking about me putting my resume in for my Tomlin's job.
Yeah, but they didn't listen to you when you gave them that suggestion, so they're probably not going to pay attention to you either.
Mike, my only point with this is look at Pittsburgh's big games this year so far. Philadelphia didn't show up.
No, and I totally believe what you're saying, but my thing is this. They're still the Pittsburgh Steelers, so until dead, I'm going to expect that they're going to stand up and fight at some point.
Yeah, and
I hope so.
I think Pouncey's out, their center. He left the game last week.
Hell, he's been more out than he has in the last 3 years, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I picked Dallas. I agreed with you. I just think that there are ways that this could turn the other way because I've seen Ben do it. And, I mean, I tell you, I watched the Bengals and Steelers game earlier this year, which was a touchdown game, close game. Neither team's playing with any emotion, which is why Baltimore's sitting in first place, and Baltimore's not as good as either one of them, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So my thing is this. Baltimore wins this division if the Bengals and Steelers continue to play flat and do stupid stuff. If one of them decides to wake up, they'll run away with the division.
I agree with that. That's absolutely true.
And I don't think there's any guarantee from what I've seen that either one of them is going to wake up. So, and the difference is this. Baltimore's in first place because of one simple fact. Outside of Bill Belichick, John Harbaugh is the best coach in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, not even Pete Carroll?
The guy's missed the playoffs once. And he's not running with the kind of talent. I mean, the talent he won the Super Bowl with was nothing compared to what Pete Carroll had. And I think Pete Carroll's a great coach. But you give me a Harbaugh at any level, and I'll win me a championship within 3 or 4 years. And right now, that's what Baltimore has over Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. But we all picked the Dallas-Pittsburgh game, didn't we?
Yeah, I think.
And only Oz got it wrong. All right, Seattle at New England, which is probably the game of the week. I'll start it off. I'm going to go with New England. I think the game is maybe the best team in the AFC against the best team in the NFC right now. Still not sure about Dallas just because of how young they are. But at worst, it's the second best team in the NFC against the best team in the AFC. I just think that with Seattle, the way they play their defense, they have a hard time with tight ends a lot of times. And you've got Gronkowski and Bennett, which is going to be impossible to stop them both. So I think New England wins a close game in the last few minutes. Brian?
Yeah, I agree. I think New England is just that team that wins games like this. And I think that it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a great game. But I think in the end, I really do believe that New England will pull it out.
All right, Matt?
Yeah, I think New England wins this game. Belichick has just outcoached Pete Carroll. He'll find ways to use that full complement on the roster. I think Deion Lewis is coming back as well. I mean, they got a lot of guys, a lot of places to throw the ball, a few ways to run the ball, and I think the defense will do just enough to win. I don't know. I can't really think of a reason to pick Seattle in this. So
I can, because if the game's close, Seattle might bring Pete Carroll's brothers who referee games.
As we saw yesterday. Holy cow.
Yeah,
but, I think New England gets this game. I think they just prove that they're the better team.
All right, Oz?
Yeah, I said this before on the fantasy show. The only argument for Seattle here is abstract, and that is this. Pete Carroll's teams take a while to get going, and they're usually much better in the second half than they are in the first half, and this is the second half, and this looks like a statement game. If you believe that the Patriots are going 15-1, of course you're taking the Patriots. If you think they might go 14-2 or even 13-3, they're going to lose this game. But I guess I'm in the 15-1 crowd because I'm going to take the Patriots.
That was a long time to get to that. Aaron.
Okay. Sorry. What can I say? That was as short as I can make it, man. I'm a loquacious dude. What can I say?
Okay, take your loquacious words and be quiet now. Seattle.
Ooh, he just told you to shut up, Oz.
I took his
He
words.
just gave you to talk to the hand.
Yep.
Seattle's on a short week. Bill Belichick's coming off a bye. Brady, best quarterback in the game, best coach in the game, at home in a statement game for them to show that they are the elite team in the NFL. I don't think Bill Belichick will lose this game. He'll find a way to I guess, use half the field, and he'll put somebody that he doesn't intend on using much on Richard Sherman's side, and he'll make Seattle adjust. I brought up in our fantasy show that I could see Richard Sherman actually guarding Gronk just because he's a physical player. He matches up with the height. Not quite as tall as Gronk, obviously, but I think he's their taller corner. But I think that Bill Belichick's a mastermind coming off a bye. I would be amazed to see what his record is, but New England at home.
All right, so we go to the most important game of the year, or the season so far, the Cincinnati Bengals at the New York Giants. Matt.
I think this is really anybody's game. Eli Manning played really well last week. I think Cincinnati's secondary is a little suspect.
No, they suck. They're not a little suspect.
Yeah. So I don't think the Giants have a lot on defense though either. I think AJ Green and Tyler Eifert will give them some problems. So I think this will be a close game. I'll just take the Giants by a field goal at home, but I think this is anybody's game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals in this game, and it's not because of a homer, because I don't pick them every week. But I think this. Both teams have a problem. Giants have nobody that can cover Green. Bengals have nobody that can cover Beckham. Offensively, both teams are really good, but there's one big difference. Both offensive lines suck. But Jeremy Hill has actually ran the ball really well lately. Gio Bernard's there. I think the Bengals will be able to run the ball successfully. And it's just Eli Manning is going to throw a couple picks, I think, where Dalton hasn't done that too often this year. So I'm going to go with the Bengals, and I think what you'll see from the Bengals is you saw a lot of zone blitzes for the first half of the season, which is something they haven't done in the past. I think you'll get away from that, and I think you'll see more of the defense that you saw last year. Brian?
Yeah, this is a tough game to pick, but I'm kind of in that mode right now where I think until I really can see the Bengals really show me who they are. I think I'm going to go with the Giants in a 3-point game. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think it'll be a great game. I think either team can win it, but I'm going to go with the Giants.
All right, so Brian's wrong. Matt's wrong. Aaron, are you right or wrong?
We'll find out. Maybe I'll pick a tie. No.
Well, look.
There you go.
Game.
What's that?
Pick the game.
I'm going to pick the Bengals. I agree with you on the Gio and Jeremy Hill. I don't think the Giants have a running game, even if Rashard Jennings is healthy. I just don't think that their offense has been consistent enough. They're one-dimensional with Odell Beckham and Sterling Shepard. Victor Cruz got hurt last week, another weapon gone. I think Cincinnati wins, and I don't think it'll be as close as what we think.
All right, Oz. Aaron's my new best friend. Do you want to be my friend, or you do want to be my enemy, Oz?
I want to be your friend. It's interesting that Brian said that the Bengals have to prove who they are, because I'll tell you what, the Giants have to prove who they are to everybody. This is the most inconsistent team in the league. Sometimes they look unbeatable, and sometimes they look like the 49ers, for example, or the Rams, for example. Except with receivers. So I'm definitely going to take the Bengals. I think they're a better team. I think Green is going to have a monster game.
Yeah, I think Green and Beckham will both have monster games.
Yeah. Beckham should have a good game too.
But, all right, so we get down to our final words. We'll start off with Brian Schmidt.
Hey, everybody, listen to the Steeler Weekly tomorrow night. It'll be up probably Thursday. We'll do it tomorrow night. But going to be a very interesting conversation, and looking forward to this week, and looking forward to getting to see Atlanta play. I believe they're actually going to be on in my market, so I actually get to watch them play, so I'm kind of excited about that. Every time I see them play, I really like watching them.
All right. And you got former Pittsburgh Steeler wide receiver Dwight Stone that does the Steelers Weekly Show with you, correct?
Yep, and we will be on tomorrow, and it will probably not be pleasant. So.
Well, nothing having to do with the Steelers is ever pleasant. Oz?
Yes. Listen, I didn't know this was going to turn into a plug session, but we could do it because we all have shows here at thegruelingtruth.net. I think listen to
the fact that we're on a show here tells us that we all have a show at thegruelingtruth.net.
Yes, but we all have a show. This is your show.
No, this is everybody. This is a communal show.
Oh, I see. Oh, so it's like a hippie thing.
Yeah. From the 60s, you'd be down with that, wouldn't you?
Right, exactly. I can identify.
Yeah, free-flowing pubes and weed, right?
Free-flowing.
Oh, my God, he said.
What the hell are free-flowing pubes? I think you had a better 60s than I did, Mike.
I didn't have a 60s. I was born in 1968. I was actually just making fun of you right there, but...
Right. Oh, okay. It's a good thing you told me because otherwise I didn't know.
I know.
I would say,
and look, a lot of times you don't realize it.
I'm going to get through this.
Thinking back now.
I promise you I will. All right. So I would say right here at thegruelingtruth.net, check out the LA Rams 2.0 show, which I do weekly with Tony Hunter, of course, the former tight end for the Rams and the Buffalo Bills, that lesser team. And I also do a couple of the CFL shows, Rouge, White, and Blue with Joe Pritchard, who is an excellent grueling truther here at the network, and shows like this. This week, I know I'm on just about everything associated with football at gruelingtruth.net. So.
Yeah, we couldn't find anybody else to do those shows. Matt?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're going to be having another unpleasant conversation about the state of the team tomorrow with Dexter and myself, former running back Dexter Carter. Basically, just all the fan base is definitely searching for answers. I think the front office needs to be redone. It's just pretty ugly right now. So, but that'll be the discussion tomorrow. I mean, all of our shows right now, we're all kind of looking for answers right now. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, it looked like the Bengals were down and out. Now they're fine. Looks like you're in the best situation right now, Mike, because the rest of us, everything's trending pretty far down.
Well, I don't think you can say you're in the best situation until you see us play the Giants. Aaron.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this Green Bay Packers team bounces back. We'll touch on that on the Titletown Huddle tomorrow with Joe Pritchard, the excellent grueling truther, as Oz would call him. If they bounce back and get a road win against Tennessee, they could get some confidence for Philly and Washington. These next three games are going to tell the season, and I don't know. I just think they're too injury riddled at this point to say they'd be a favorite and pick in the division. But the two games that strike me this week are Seattle and New England, and Pittsburgh and Dallas. Those are two games to see who the pretenders are and who the contenders are, in my opinion.
All right. You ended that without a period, by the way.
I don't get my.
I wasn't sure you were done. It just you abruptly ended. I just thought I'd bring that up because you always give Oz a hard time.
I don't get my period, Mike.
Not anymore. Not since you turned 40, huh?
Oh, you thought you were going to get him.
You telling me we got a menopausal host on our show?
No.
Yes, Aaron Zepnick.
Aaron thought he was going to get him there, but
I didn't realize
you see what happens.
No, nobody ever gets me.
Mike is Don't even try it.
Literally and figuratively, nobody gets me. But make sure you check out all the shows I just talked about, plus we get the Fighting Irish Weekly show with Tony Hunter's on that too with Josh Benjamin. Make sure you check out Out of Left Field with Graham McCowan and Chris Fury.
Yes.
They had Adnan Burke from Baseball Tonight on to talk about the World Series this last weekend. And I think they've got another host from Baseball Tonight, the female host, that's going to be on the show this weekend. But Obviously, I don't watch Baseball Tonight and don't remember the name. But if anybody here remembers it, let me know.
The female.
Yeah, it's the female host. I don't know. Beats the hell out of me. But so
exciting stuff happening on that show. If you like baseball at all, check out that show.
Yeah, it's a really good show, and I know we made contact today. They're going to have the curator or one of the people from the Negro League Museum on. I think they're going to do a two-parter there about the Negro Leagues, which will be interesting. And Oz is looking forward to that. He's already submitted a question for it.
Yeah. I'm very excited about that. Ooh, I eat up baseball history, especially Negro League baseball history. I'm very much looking forward to that. But those guys do a great show. So that's really worth checking out.
The way you said that, I don't know. Do you agree, Aaron? That was kind of creepy.
Oh.
I think everything Oz says is borderline creepy.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks.
Well, might not be able to get
Aaron,
Mike, but I can get out.
It's not.
Are you talking about Jessica Mendoza?
Huh?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Jessica Mendoza, the female host from Baseball?
Yes, I believe so. So out of left field, we'll have Jessica Mendoza this weekend. So make sure you check that out also. Thanks for the save, Aaron.
No problem.
Good save.
I wouldn't figure somebody living in Milwaukee Brewer territory would even know what Baseball Tonight is. I don't think they've ever been on the Sunday night game, have they?
Well, it's a good thing I'm not a Brewer fan.
Oh, okay. So now you're going to act like you're a fan of another team.
We talked about this on our Mike and Aaron Sports World when we first did podcast. I'm an Atlanta Braves fan.
Really?
You went with Atlanta when they left?
I was named after Hank Aaron, and when I was growing up as a teenager, the Braves were really good and winning 14 division championships in a row, so I just kind of stuck to them. And
your name's not Hank. It's Aaron.
Get out of here. You're really named after Hank Aaron. That's awesome.
No, his name's not Hank. It's Aaron.
Is your middle name Henry?
Hank Aaron. Yes.
What's your middle name?
I had to wear number 44 my whole life in sports. Yes, it's true.
Oh, after Eric Davis, the great Cincinnati Red.
Oh, sure, of course. Yeah.
All right. So we're done. Make sure you check out.
Yeah, we are.
Make sure you check out Gridarmo at www.gridarmo.com. Check out our Super Bowl trivia contest from last night, which Aaron miserably lost in triple overtime to Evan Witalison. If you want to be on the show, send us a email at thegruelingtruth@gmail.com or find us on @gruelingtruth. You can send us a message there also. $25 Amazon gift card is what Aaron lost last night when he failed miserably in overtime. The question that he could have answered and won was who was the quarterback in Super Bowl IX.
Terry Bradshaw.
Steelers, Schmidt. See, if you had done it like that, you'd have won. But now you've learned. All right.
This is my first time on. I didn't know you could interrupt the guy asking the questions.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, you can. We talked about that last night. You see how he jumped on it that time? So I'm going to train him so we can bring him back on in a month and a half or so, and he might be able to win.
I want another.
I'm just going to call you in the middle of the night and start shooting Super Bowl questions at you.
I want another shot at Evan. I'm going to have my phone ready so I can Google the answers.
All right. Well, now you sound like a typical Packer fan.
Cheat?
You were too injured to play, or somebody cheated you. At least that's what Matt said. And Matt, did you tell Aaron what Don Mikowski said today on the show?
Oh, yes. Don Mikowski, as Mike knows, we interviewed him on the Grueling Truth, and he was on 105.7 The Fan today, and he said that Brett Favre always had a lot of talent around him, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. And so there, all the times that we have heard people say that Brett Favre never had talent around him, Don Mikowski completely disagrees, and I would go with Don.
Here, I thought you were going to say he was going to come on the Titletown Huddle or something, because Mike and I talked about that yesterday, about getting him on.
Well, he was on the radio, and I was not with him, so I don't know that he would have said that.
Well, you have homework.
All right, guys. So make sure you can check out all of our shows on iHeart, Google Music, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, everything known to man that has sports podcasts. You'll find The Grueling Truth. Check out the website, Grueling Truth. What is it? You guys, thegruelingtruth.net, right?
That's right.
That's it.
Sometimes I forget what I'm saying in the middle of saying stuff. But so make sure you check out thegruelingtruth.net. So for Aaron Zepnick, Brian Schmidt, Oz Davis, Matt Andruscavage, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.